Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now look what I've made. Look at this. This is really pretty. This is beautiful. Now I'm using a chenille and it's from Aldi's. I've got this in lilac and I've got it in white. Now I'm going to move that just up there out of the way. And I'm going to show you my blanket that I've made. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Now you can do it all, if you do it all one, you can do it all one colour, but you won't see the patterns so much if you actually do it in two different colours. It's meant to be done in two different colours, and this pattern is really pretty. Now down the side we do have these loops where I've just been bringing the coloured yarn up. When I finish this row, I just bring it up to do this row, but I will be doing a border along the sides. Now I'm going to show you how to do this little spiky stitch where it just mixes and mingles. Now when you do this, if you're going to do this blanket, you do your colours in two rows. The pattern is made up of two rows. When you do your chain in sets of 3. So you need to do them in sets of 3. Each end has got 4 trebles. Well, you've got your chain of 3 plus your trebles here, and the same at this side. But when you put your border on, that's going to make it look the same as all the rest of it. If you don't do that extra stitch on this side and this side here, what will happen is when you do your border, you'll only be left with 2 stitches on the pattern, and it'll look kind of off. So what I've done is I've made sure that I've got 1 extra stitch on this side and 1 extra stitch on this side for my chain, and this is your turning chain anyway, but you won't see that once you put the border on. Once I show you how to do the blanket, I'll show you how just to put a very simple treble crochet border on. And this is what I've got down here. It's just a row of treble crochets to neaten it all off, and I'll do it in white. I'm going to show you how to do this stitch first, and then I'll show you how to finish your blanket, how to finish that top row so that it looks the same as the bottom, and then we'll crochet down this side and we'll crochet down this side, and that'll make your blanket with nice neat edges. You can make this as big as you like, as wide as you like, and it's really nice and soft. So I'm going to show you how to do this pretty blanket. I'll show you how to do the stitch first, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish off a blanket if you're making one. So for this blanket, I'm using quite a large hook. I'm using a 6.5. This is a 6 point. Oh, look at that. My nail polish matches that hook. So I'm using a 6.5 millimeter hook. Now you maybe need to Google it to see what size hook that is in the country that you live in. And I'm going to start with the green. We'll do this. It's a really pretty mint green, as you can see that. So I'll pop my yarn up there. So to do this blanket, we need to do them in the stitches in sets of 3. I'm just going to do my slip knot around my fingers, just tuck it under there and take my fingers out, and that makes a slip knot like that. You make the slip knot the way that you would normally do it. Now when you do your chain, do it slack, don't do it too tight, and we're going to do our stitches in sets of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you make your chain the length that you want it. If you don't know how many stitches to put on, get yourself a measuring tape and just make your chain to the length of the measuring tape, the width that you want. As long as it's in sets of 3, you'll be fine. So I'll do my chain. I'm just going to do a small sample and I'll come back and show you what to do next. going to add an extra 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now what this is going to do, it's going to keep our stitch count correct. It's going, 2 of the stitches are going to be our extra stitch at either end of the blanket like this. So how we've got here, we've got 1, 2, 3 and we've got 4. So we've got an extra stitch at this side and an extra stitch at the other side of the blanket here. Once we do our edge, you'll have 3, you'll just see 3 in the pattern. So once we do the border up the blanket, that's what the extra 2 stitches are for. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go into the 4th stitch. I'm going into the 4th stitch in the chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over and go into that 4th stitch. Oops, there we go. Now the 4th chain that we missed makes a treble crochet. That'll count as a treble crochet, those chains that we missed and went into the 4th stitch. We're going to treble crochet all the way to the end. 1 treble crochet into each stitch in the chain all the way along. If you're in the USA or another country, this is a double crochet. So we're going to put 1 into every stitch all the way along. So I'm on my last 2 stitches, and 2. That's my last 2 done. Now what I want you to do so that your stitch count is correct, I want you to start at the beginning and count 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you should have 4 left. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We need 4 at this end and we need 4 trebles at this end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 2. We'll always be chaining 2 at the end. 1, 2 and turn. We're going to do a treble crochet into the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2. If you're in the USA, this is a double crochet. So we've got our chain counts as 1, 2, 3 and 4. You'll be doing that at the beginning of every row and we'll be doing 4 at the end of the row. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3 and we're going to do 3 treble crochets, 1 treble crochet into the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Chain 3 and 3. Skip 3, 1, 2 and 3. That's 1, 2 and 3. We'll do that to the end. We'll chain 3, skip 3 and do 3 treble crochets or 3 double crochets if you're in the USA. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. So we've got 4 left and we're going to do our treble crochets, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do our treble crochets into these last 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3. Now for this last stitch we're going into this chain. I'm not going to finish the stitch, I'm going to change my yarn soon. So go into the top of that chain, just push your hook through and to get two parts of that stitch. Into there, pull through your stitch, yarn over and come through 2 loops. Keep those 2 loops on your hook, because what you're going to do is we're going to get our other colour. So I'm going to change to my lemon now. I'll put my lemon over there. So take your other colour and just wrap it around your hook like that. Just put it over your hook and pull it through those 2 stitches, and that's you joined your next colour. And this is the way I join any different colour yarn for any blanket. Now I've just taken the tail and just gave it a little twist around like that. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and turn my work. Now we've got 3 trebles here. That one doesn't count because remember that's our edge. What you're going to do is you're going to chain another 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So it's 5 altogether. You do 2 and turn and do another 3, and that becomes your treble and your chain. What you're going to do now is we're going to work into the row below. We're going to work into these 3 stitches. We're going to work into these 3 stitches here. So yarn over, we're going right over the top of the chain and put your stitch, go right through, pull your yellow through, your other coloured yarn, pull your stitch up and finish your treble crochet. So you can see that that chain has become that chain space like that. It's become your chain space and your treble there. We're going to do another treble into the next stitch. Just go right across that chain, trap it in there. That's 2, and into the third one, into the top of the stitch. Tangle in my yarn there. So if you're in the USA, this is a double crochet. A UK, it's a treble. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip over the top of those stitches there, and again you're going to do a treble into 1, 2 and 3. So 1 into there. Remember and pull your stitch up a little bit. Yarn over into the next stitch, up a little bit. Yarn over and into the next stitch. We're working the 3 that we skipped. So we'll chain 3 across here. 1, 2, 3. Now this is the row that you repeat. It's a 1 row repeat. You just keep repeating this row with your 3 stitches and your 3 chains, skipping these ones out. So we're going to skip these ones out and work in to these stitches here. Go down into the row below. So we're going down into this row down here. Pull up your yarn. It's a little fiddly until you've got these first rows done. Into the next stitch. Remember and pull your yarn up. So into that last stitch there, right through, pull it up. If you don't pull it up, it will get all tight in there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip those 3 and do our treble crochets into these ones all the way to the end. So it's chain 3, skip these 3 and work in to the stitches below. Make sure you give your stitch a little wriggle. 1, 2, 3. Oh, got a little knot there. Skip those 3 and work into those 3 stitches there. 1, 2 and 3. Down into there. Pull your stitch up. 1, 2 and 3. Really easy, really quick. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the top of that chain here you're going to do a treble crochet. That's a double crochet if you're in the USA. There we go. Chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to turn. Now remember, 2 rows of each colour, because the next colour of yellow are going to sink down into here. Okay, so it's going to build it up like this. So that's my 2 rows of white, and I've done 2 rows of my lilac. We did one coming that way and then one going that way, and your chain is hidden in here. So I've done my chain of 2, I'm going to turn. So straight away I'm going to do my 3 treble crochets. So yarn over, just remember and do your chain of 2, and remember at the end you should always have what looks like 4 stitches. So into that first one there, pull your yarn up. So 1, 2 and 3. So it looks like you've got 4 because you've got your chain, but when we do our edge you won't see that last one and you'll be left with your nice symmetrical pattern with your 3 stitches. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip over these ones, and we're going into the top of those coloured ones below, all the way along. 1. So make sure that you've got that pulled back, and there's your 3 stitches. So yarn over and into the top of that one. Don't lose your stitch. If you lose your stitch count, it might be because you've lost one of your stitches in under there. They get tucked under there sometimes. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and my last ones I've got 3 stitches to work, and then we'll work into the top of that chain. So make sure I've got that stitch out, just pull them back into the top of that stitch. That's 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to work into our little chain of 2, but we're not going to finish the stitch. So yarn over and come through 2, keep those 2 on the hook. Now let your yellow go and pick up your green. So we're going to pick up our green yarn again and bring it up over the hook. Now don't worry about the loops will get taken in when we put the border on the blanket. Now just wrap it around your hook and pull it through those 2 stitches, and that's you back to your green. Now we're just going to repeat what we've done with the yellow. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2 and turn. Now chain 3 more, that makes your bridge across the top. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work in to the top of these 3 stitches with your second colour, trapping that chain in. Just push it right through. That's 1, and through there, that's 2, and 1 more into that stitch, that's 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Get some more of my green yarn. Skip these 3, and we're going to work into the top of these 3 stitches here. So what I would do now is I would just change to my green, and I would do my 2 rows of green. But this is what the pattern looks like, and this is what it's like with a lemon and a mint green. So this is what your pattern looks like. So I'm going to get my big blanket back. So I've got my scissors, and I'm going to take my lilac off, and I'll just weave that in. So I don't need my lilac. So I'm going to finish the top of my blanket. I'm going to show you how to finish the top and do the sides. Now I've done my first row of my white. The bottom of my blanket already has an edge of white, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn. Just turn this blanket all the way around. Turn it around like that. I don't think I've came in down there enough. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to treble crochet all the way along. No chains this time. So yarn over, and I'm going to find my 3 stitches, and I'm going to put my treble crochets in. So that was a chain 2 and turn we did. So I'll do my 3 treble crochets, 1, 2, and there's my 3rd stitch there, into those 3 stitches in the row below. I've got 3 here. I'll move in a bit. I'm going to zoom in. There we go, that's better. I'm going to do a treble crochet into the 3 of these stitches. Don't pull your stitches up this time, just go into your 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. We'll drop down to these 3, so down to those 3, no chains this time. You might just have to give it a little pull up. We're going to do this all the way to the end. Drop down to those, give it just a little pull up. You don't want to pull it up too high. Then into the top, a treble crochet into the top of these 3. That's a double crochet if you're in the USA. I'm just finishing this blanket off with treble crochets into that top of that one. I'll move along to these 3, 1 into the top of each of these stitches. Now I'm going to work my way along to here. I'll show you how I do the corner and work down the side. I don't need to do the bottom because the bottom's fine. I just need to skip over to this other side and come up. Now I'll finish the top. So I'll finish the top with the treble crochet, and I'll come and show you how I'm going to deal with these loops down the side and put my treble crochets down of my blanket like this. I've got to the corner. Now I've got 1 stitch to put into the top of here. So I've got my little corner. I'm going to put 3 in this corner, just into this piece here. 1, 2, and I'll put that one in there. That's 3. That brings me round the corner quite nicely like that. Now I'm going one in the space and one in that sort of chunky area, because I think doing it 2 is too many. One in behind there. And this is what doing the border of a blanket's all about when you're doing it yourself. It's trial and error. It's just seeing what works. You can put a shell stitch all the way down if you want. Just make sure that little tail end goes in there. Just picking up the loop. The loop's going with that chain space. So I'm going to put one into the middle of that little chunky bit. One around that chain. And then you've got a little chunky area there. We'll put one in there. And there's my little chain space there. I'll put one in there. We'll see what it looks like. We don't want too many stitches in. That's better. There we go, that's better. So it's trial and error. So we're down here at this space. At the odd time you can stick an extra stitch in if you think you've got a wider gap. As long as you put the same amount of stitches down this side and the same down that side there. So I'm going to work my way down with my one treble and around, taking in those loops. So those loops are getting taken in with the spaces all the way down. Just have a look at it, see how it looks. If you need to add an extra stitch in, then just add an extra one in. It's up to you, it's your blanket. See how it looks. So I'm going to work my way all the way down the side, down to the bottom. Then I'll take my yarn off and I'm going to do this side. I'll go around and I'll come up this side. I'm not going to do the bottom because the bottom's got its edge like that. It's already done, it's already neat. I'm just going to go down both sides. So I'll do that and I'll come back and show you what it's like. This is my blanket all finished and it's absolutely beautiful. I really like this. The lavender and the white goes excellent. And doing the treble crochet along the top and down the sides has worked out really well too, and it's hidden all those loops. And as you can see, you've got your 3 stitches here, so it keeps the pattern symmetrical. And that's it. It's just it's so cuddly as well. It's really soft and cuddly in the chenille. You can use any yarn to do this. You don't have to use a really thick chunky yarn. So thank you very much for watching. Please click on that subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel. If you click on the bell icon down here as well, then YouTube will notify you when I put up a new tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting. See you all again soon. Goodbye.